Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire, once again filling in for David. You know, one of the things that we have talked about a lot with regard to the January 6th hearing is whether or not any of these televised hearings are going to have any kind of impact on the 2022 midterm elections. And according to former Tea Party Republican Joe Walsh, who tweeted out on Thursday, no, they will have absolutely no impact. Here is Joe Walsh's tweet. Twitter world may not understand this, but January 6th and these hearings won't make any difference in the midterms. The hearings are important and necessary, but they'll have zero impact this November. It's kind of a bummer, right? I mean, way to come along and ruin everybody's mood there, Captain Buzzkill. But at the same time, I don't completely disagree with him. I do think, for the most part, and I'm struggling to say that because I don't know how much I believe him or agree with him, but I do think he's right. If these things do end up having an impact on the 2022 midterms, I don't think it's going to be a hugely measurable impact, right? It may affect like a couple races, but I don't think it's going to affect enough of them to stop what we all see is likely coming, which of course is Republicans taking back the House. I don't see it doing that. I don't see enough momentum with this. I don't see enough, tying it into the other Republicans, because the hearings, of course, are all really about Donald Trump and his administration. Yes, we've, identified several Republican members of Congress that were involved. But even if we took out each and every one of those people in the elections, Republicans would still be poised to take back the House. So that is why I do, again, kind of agree with what Joe Walsh has to say. But then the other but is the poll numbers, right? The poll numbers out there are kind of contradicting it, at least right now. Here's what they tell us. Nearly 2/3 of U.S. adults believe the January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol was planned, according to a new Quinnipiac poll. Poll found that 64% of respondents believed the attack was planned and 30% believed it was spontaneous. Okay, so it's influencing public opinion, which is great. I mean, that's the whole point of all of this. We want to influence public opinion, but not because we're trying to brainwash them or, push them into any kind of political ideology, but because we want to influence their opinion on the people who perpetrated these acts. And there's a big difference between those two. This is not a partisan political committee as the Republicans would like to have you believe. This is, in fact, a fact-finding mission. And so far, a lot of the facts that they found have been very bad for the Republican Party. So the question is, could it have an impact on the 2022 midterms in a meaningful way? And the answer is possibly. In order, however, for that to happen, the committee's work would have to focus more on the Republican Party as a whole. Not just paint Donald Trump and Giuliani and some of these other weird little characters out there as, the only people. They would have to come back in and tie it all in, saying this, folks, is who the current Republican Party is. And that's not the job of the committee. That's the job of the Democratic Party. And that's where that disconnect exists. The January 6th committee has done great work. I was skeptical of them at first, didn't think they could pull it off. They have proven me wrong, and I am grateful to them for it. But now is the time for the Democratic Party to step up. Because yes, these hearings are impactful. Yes, they are changing public opinion. But the committee is not going to sit there, especially with Republican like Liz Cheney sitting on there, and say, this is who all Republicans are. They're not going to do that. And they shouldn't do that either. They kind of should, but they can't. I understand they absolutely cannot, because you will start to turn off people. What the Democratic Party could do, should have already been doing, is turning some of this into ads. Ads running on national television channels all across the country. But they're not. The messaging from the Democratic Party needs to be that this is who the Republicans are. Not this is who Trump is. Not this is who Jim Jordan is. This is who they all are. Every one of them. Yes, use that language. Yes, I don't care if it makes Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger sitting on that committee angry. This is your opportunity. The public is paying attention to these hearings. Millions of people have already tuned in. The polls are shifting in pretty significant ways. I mean, rather shocking ways, if you ask me. So seize that moment, jump on that opportunity, and put it in ads. Put it in people's faces every day. Tie every single Republican candidate out there back to these people. Because even if they didn't participate, they still vote with them. Hell, a lot of the candidates out there running for office actually support what happened that day. They still support Donald Trump. That's why you do have candidates, by the way, like Dr. Oz, who have now shifted their messaging to stop mentioning Trump as much and, moving back on to just the issues, folks. Don't let them do that. Don't let them get the upper hand. Tie every Republican in the country to everything this committee has found. You do that, you may have a pretty significant impact on the midterms. But if the Democratic Party is sitting there waiting for the January 6th committee to do this themselves, it ain't going to happen. That is not the job of this committee. And if they attempted to do that, they're going to lose all the credibility that they have. This is on the Democratic Party. They could do this. They should do this. But if history is any indicator, they won't be doing that.
I think this is the biggest discount that any sponsor has ever offered on the David Pakman Show. This is Crush Organics. Crush Organics loves the show so much. They're giving my viewers 50% off their entire collection of organic CBD products when you use the code Pakman. I'm the only show where you can get this big a discount. That I like. And for each sale, Crush Organics will donate $10 to the Last Prisoner Project. That's a really great nonprofit. It helps to free nonviolent drug offenders and reform drug laws. Very important. And it doesn't stop there. Anyone who uses my code also gets a free jar of CBD gummies or a jar of CBD topical cream. Crush has only the best organic CBD, whether you're looking for oils, creams, or edibles. So that's 50% off and a free jar of gummies or topical cream and $10 towards creating real change in our justice system. Go to crushorganics.us and use the code Pakman. The link is down below.